Hi, I'm Shirley, and I'm an art director at Citizen Relations. I found out about the NACs actually while I was in school and as a student. There were like more senior students and like the year ahead of us that were entering it, and then just being around them, I got to know like kind of through word of mouth of the NACs, and then from there I entered as a student, and then moving on to like working. I would just like check back every year, like when are the NACs going live, and then that's kind of how I found out about the NACs. What made me decide to enter the NACs? We just thought like it was a great opportunity to kind of like stretch our brains outside of work and kind of like do a brief that wasn't one of our everyday clients. And it just really allowed us, it was like a great opportunity to think in a different way and on something different. The whole process with the NACs is really good, like just in terms of like NAC as like the whole platform. Downloading the briefs was really easy, uploading the briefs was really easy, like the whole reminders and emails was really good. And in terms of like the process on our end and ideating, I would say like the beginning of when you get a brief, it's always like super fun because you can think of a lot of different ideas and you're so excited about it. And then it gets towards like the deadline and trying to figure out which one is the one that you're gonna build up. And that's a little more difficult. That's when things start getting a little more like, oh no, we have so many good ideas, but which one, not so many good ideas, but we have so many ideas. Which one isn't just good, which one is great? And I would say that's like a more difficult part. But then afterwards, once you submit, you know, I'm not one to worry about things till things happen. So usually Marley and I were always like, oh my gosh, the results are out. And then that's like when we're like, so we don't really get nervous about when the results are coming out. It's more like, oh, look at it. We got something, that's cool. I think the way we look at things is always like, no idea is a dumb idea, especially when you're brainstorming. So the thought process was kind of like, get everything out there, say any good idea or a bad idea. Like if you think it's a bad idea, your partner might actually think it's a good idea, or they might actually make that bad idea into a good idea. So it's like, don't be shy to just like put everything out there. And that's kind of like our thought process at the beginning. And then it's like the funnel method where you like go through everything and start seeing which one is a great idea. So our brief was for Tim Hortons, and the brief was to position Tim Hortons as kind of like that lunch destination. This brief actually came out during like the height of the pandemic. So everyone was kind of like, you know, trying to find a new routine by working from home. So we kind of looked towards our own lives and people around us and how they've changed during COVID. And a lot of people, you know, were taking walks. You know, then you would have to schedule time for walks, and a lot of people took walks at lunch. So we kind of thought to ourselves like, if people aren't walking to Tim Hortons to lunch, you know, can we take Tim Hortons to them on their lunch walks? And that's really what inspired us, just like thinking about what happens in our day-to-day lives and other people's day-to-day lives. It felt really good. So like I was saying, like we don't really worry about things. Like we don't really know when things are gonna get announced. And so when it gets announced, it's always like a really pleasant surprise. And you're just like, oh my gosh, that's us on this website. That's super cool. Or like us in the video of the announcement. And so it felt really good. And it, you know, it's always nice to be recognized by people in the industry. So yeah, it felt really good. My advice for new entrants would be, you know, really push yourself on your ideas. Like, I think it's easy to get lost in like our day-to-day work, and sometimes not every task is gonna be exciting. You might be writing like a very tactical email. So like when it comes to this brief, treat it as an opportunity to push your ideas and push the limits of your thinking. Not to say that a tactical email might not be the winner next year, but like there could be a really creative way to do that, but like really just like push yourself and not limit yourself. Let the brief guide you, but don't let it limit you. I actually just took the money and probably put it in my TFSA and invested it. In my head, I was like, I'm gonna buy myself a bag, but then that never happened. I just put it into my bank and let it grow. I would describe my partner in 3 words as my better half. Cheesy! Why does it feel like I'm gonna propose to you? But if I had to describe her in 3 adjectives, I would say smart, creative, and funny.